Back in high school, that campus beauty senior whom countless boys admired always liked to run to my classroom door after school, hugging me tightly as I stepped out. Just as I was used to her presence after graduation, I still hadn't seen her until I reached the school gate, that pure white figure. When I tried to pick up my phone to look for her, that glaring red exclamation mark made my mood sink. It wasn't until years later at a blind date that I saw her again. Chun Mingzhang was looking down at the message her mother had sent her. "Son, have you gone?" She was about to return to the residence when a voice interrupted. "Hello. I'm here for a blind date." A very pleasant and somewhat familiar voice reached Chun Ming's ears. Chun Ming frowned first, then looked up to see a tall, fair, and cool young woman before him. It slowly overlapped with that figure that had appeared countless times in his memories. Chun Ming's heart nearly paused for a row. Yen Yu saw the young man look up, and when that handsome face he had longed for day and night came into view again, she was stunned for a moment, opened her mouth but couldn't say a word. A few seconds later, her eyes suddenly reddened. After a few seconds of stunnance, Chun Ming was the first to come to his senses, his expression returning to normal during the invitation. Yes, it was a blind date. Although her heart was already in turmoil, her tone showed no trace of emotion. It was as normal as if they had just met today. Yen Yu snapped back to reality, let out a gentle breath, and slowly sat down. But he didn't know what to say. His hands under the table turned pale from squeezing each other. His gaze lowered, not daring to look across from him. The person he missed day and night, Miss Yen. Chun Ming changed his tone, his voice carrying an inexplicably cold and unfamiliar name. Combined with her cold tone, Yen Yu's heart felt as if it had been pricked by needles. In her memory, she almost always called her senior, and even less often called her Ian. She even dressed in a dress and angrily said, "I'm 3 years older than you. Don't call me that." What she got in return was another laughing a Yen with a smile. At that moment, she laughed too. Should we go straight through the blind date procedure, or should we proceed with the blind date? Chun Ming looked calmly at Yen Yu, her junior brother, her voice trembling slightly. The familiar nickname from the past echoed again. Chun Ming's emotions could no longer calm. Her gaze darkened, and her tone suddenly turned cold. "Miss Yen, don't call me that. We don't belong to you." Yen Yu bit her lip, her fingers turning even whiter. This line, carrying the words from the book, "We don't belong to you," made her heart seem to freeze for a few seconds. They were clearly the closest people they knew best. Every night after self-study, they would ride the same little electric scooter home together, and that would be together for a whole year until she went to college. After college, they would video call every night, sometimes even staying on the phone until dawn. They had been the closest and closest to each other for 3 years, but now the person they once knew most had become strangers. Yen Yu's expression was bitter. She lifted her head, her eyes slightly red, and mustered the courage to look straight at her, feeling a pitiful, broken heart. Seeing Yen Yu like this, Chun Ming's heart inexplicably ached. She subtly withdrew her gaze. Yen Yu said softly, "This was a blind date arranged by the teacher, so even though I was unhappy, I still came. I just considered it a complete task. Same here, my mom arranged it, so we were all doing it to fulfill the tasks assigned by our elders." Chun Ming's voice remained cold. "I think the task is done. Just say it's not suitable when I get back." "Yes," she almost blurted out, speaking very urgently. After she finished, she froze for a moment, feeling a bit helpless and quickly lowering her eyes, her breathing growing heavier. Chun Ming was also stunned for a moment. As for her, at this moment, everyone was in a state of intense excitement. So far, they had known each other for 8 years, but 4 years ago, she was inexplicably deleted by him. Since then, she seemed to have vanished into thin air, and the two have lost contact. Chun Ming does not deny it. She still often thought of Yen Yu, imagining the image she looked like in her memories, imagining the day they met again. But when that day really came so mysteriously, she panicked, not knowing what to do. Facing the present moment in Yen Yu, there was the surprise of reunion and the confusion, the resentment from 4 years ago when she left without saying goodbye, and so many complicated emotions that couldn't be put into words. Yen Yu softly called out. Chun Ming frowned but stopped standing up, giving her a puzzled look. Yen Yu took a deep breath, feeling a bit nervous, but still whispered, since it was all arranged by the elders, if she just went back like this, maybe I'll be scheduled for another blind date soon, which is pretty annoying. What does that mean? Chun Ming frowned. Can I add you on WeChat? When elders ask, they say it's fine, still in contact. That way, I can avoid being arranged for blind dates again. Is that okay? She grew even more nervous, but still said what she wanted to say in one breath. Chun Ming was silent for a moment. Actually, she wasn't afraid of her mother. Ever since she was little, She'd always been willing to talk with her calmly, but seeing her mother's worried expression, she felt sorry for her. Yen Yu made a lot of sense. As long as they went back and said it was fine, they had a good conversation, at least for now it wouldn't be arranged again. Chun Ming took out his phone and opened the QR code. Pushing the phone over the table, Yen Yu quietly breathed a sigh of relief, quickly took out her phone, and scanned the QR code. Maybe because she was too nervous, Chun Ming could see that his pale fingertips holding the phone were trembling slightly. Maybe because the phone was a bit old, Yen Yu missed focus several times. Her cold face showed some inexplicable urgency. Sorry, she apologized softly, then quickly picked up her phone, wiped the camera, and scanned the QR code on the table once more. Chun Ming checked her phone. It was an old phone from 3 or 4 years ago, with some cracks on the screen. If Chun Ming remembered correctly, she should have been working for a year, so she shouldn't be unable to afford a phone. She was still the same as before, reluctant to spend money. Alright. Seeing the scan successful, she finally breathed a sigh of relief. Right, sorry. Maybe she thought it took too long. She apologized quietly again. Chun Ming put away his phone and put it in his pocket. Alright then, I'll be leaving first, Chun Ming said expressionlessly. Wait. Chun Ming frowned, his voice even colder. There's something else. Yen Yu lowered her eyes. Her voice weakened, growing even more nervous. Can we have a meal together? Have you eaten? I haven't eaten yet. I'm hungry. Looking at Yen Yu so delicate and a bit at a loss, Chun Ming felt inexplicably uncomfortable. She didn't even know why she had agreed. Yen Yu rarely chuckled softly, but it was only for a brief moment. It wasn't exactly beautiful. In fact, her laughter was rather awkward. But that face was so beautiful that she quickly took out her phone and scanned the QR code on the table to order. This time, the scan went especially smoothly. After scanning, she opened the menu interface and handed the phone to Chun Ming. Then you go ahead and order. Chun Ming pushed her somewhat broken phone back and took out his phone to scan the QR code to order. She doesn't have the habit of living off a woman. I'm working now and I'm rich. Yen Yu was a bit anxious. Back in high school, because she was coming home, she paid for their meals. If she remembered correctly, Chun Ming was only a senior in college now. She hasn't graduated yet. How can she pay? Chun Ming glanced at her, then at the phone on the table. He thought, now that he's rich, he wonders if he'll get a new phone or if he'll eat anymore. Her voice was still cold, and she had already clicked the payment button. Eating, compared to making her pay, she was more afraid that she really wouldn't eat with her anymore. Yen Yu secretly glanced at her. Junior, do you drink often? Her voice was soft, a familiar way of addressing. Chun Minggong's mood, which had just calmed down, fluctuated again. She gave Yen Yu a cold glance and said, please don't call me that. Okay? Chun Ming's indifferent gaze made Yen Yu's heart ache. She lowered her eyes slightly. She didn't dare call out anymore. Chun, young Master Chun. Chun Ming, Chun, young Master Chun. Chun Ming. Then, how should I call you? Yen Yu whispered softly, both scared and nervous. That tone actually made Chun Ming think. Sensing some grievance, she gritted her teeth and said coldly, forget it. After all, compared to Junior, her way of addressing me sounded awkward. She responded softly and continued to quietly ask, Junior, do you drink often? Still smoking? It's none of your business. Don't worry so much. Yen Yu's cold voice made her eyes lower slightly. She paused, then whispered, you used to neither smoke nor drink. People always change. Chun Ming sneered. It's like two people who used to be close suddenly changed because one of them deleted the other, then disappeared into the crowd. Yen Yu knew she harbored deep resentment, but she didn't argue. Anyway, everything was her fault. She glanced at her quietly again, this time especially closely. After so many years, she was still so beautiful. Compared to 4 years ago, she was much taller, and her complexion was even paler. She was that good-looking and sunny boy from high school. He'd become the handsome yet aloof young man he was now. I have a trick on my face. Chun Ming glared at her in displeasure. Beautiful, she almost blurted out. Then both of them froze for a moment. No, she hurriedly tried to explain herself. I noticed your eyelashes are a bit yellow, your face is rather pale, and your lips are dark. It's probably related to long-term drinking. Your stomach problem is quite severe. She even saw faint smoke stains on her fingers. Chun Ming had just had a checkup a few days ago. Indeed, her stomach condition was a bit severe. The doctor advised her not to drink alcohol, to maintain a regular diet and routine. Yen Yu truly lived up to her skills. Just by looking at her complexion, he could tell. Plus, her kidneys were a bit problematic. How could that be? Chun Ming's voice immediately rose several notches. This concerns a man's dignity. How could it be misunderstood out of thin air? Yen Yu hadn't expected this sentence to cause such a strong reaction. After thinking for a moment, she roughly understood. As a doctor, it's not okay to not understand things like this, and it's not serious. It's just a minor issue. She said softly, long-term or excessive drinking can increase the burden on the kidneys. Just be more careful. Only then did Chun Ming breathe a little easier. All right, got it. The two fell silent again, the atmosphere a bit cold. Yen Yu sneaked another glance at Chun Ming, seeing his expressionless face and no desire to speak. After thinking for a moment, he quietly asked, Junior, do you still live in the same place as before? It's gone, it's long since moved. Chun Ming replied casually. No wonder, he muttered quietly. No wonder he graduated from Beijing and came to Hangzhou, jogging past his building every day. But he never saw him even once. Even during winter and summer breaks, when the hospital was on holiday, he could wander around downstairs at his house all day and never ran into him. So where has your family moved now? He asked again, and Chun Ming glanced up at him. Yen Yu was quite talkative today. He used to rarely speak, always quiet and serene, calm and aloof. Miss Yen was checking household registration. Chun Ming was annoyed and impatient. This was personal privacy, he replied quietly. Chun Ming's cold tone made him too scared to say more. He could only lower his head slightly and stare at the table. Chun Ming's mind was in turmoil, and he didn't want to speak. Fortunately, the food finally arrived. Chun Ming ordered the mandarin duck pot. His stomach really wasn't very good. Lately, he'd been feeling a dull ache, so he couldn't handle anything too spicy. As soon as Chun Ming got up, Yen Yu hurriedly asked, Where are you going? He was really afraid he'd suddenly run off. Don't you use dipping sauce for hot pot? Yen Yu finally realized. Turns out they hadn't made the dipping sauce yet. Then Yen Yu also got up and followed behind him. The two went to the dipping area together, afraid he might run away. Miss Yen and Chun Ming turned around and gave him a cold look. You're about to bump into me. Can you keep some distance? Yen Yu was startled, immediately stopped in her tracks, and quickly stepped back to put some distance between them. Sorry. He bowed his head and apologized quietly, but still followed closely behind. Chun Ming shook his head helplessly and quickly finished making the dipping sauce. Back at his seat, Yen Yu sat down with him. You can't eat spicy food, he whispered. Seeing the red broth on his side, he reached out and moved the broth, placing the clear broth side in front of him. But the pot burned him, making him quickly withdraw. Chun Ming gritted his teeth. Why do you act like a fool? Don't you know it's hot? Aren't you burning? After saying this, Chun Ming was startled by his words, but left without saying goodbye. There is a lot of resentment, but the body will still instinctively care for them. In life, you will definitely meet someone like this. When they appear, all your boundaries and rules disappear because of them. You can pretend to be indifferent, but your body's instinctive reactions will tell you that the deepest string of your soul still trembles for him. No matter how much time passes, you still care about him, afraid he'll get hurt. No, it's not very hot, he says. He was still holding up both hands, waving them in front of him. His hands were beautiful, fair and slender, with neatly trimmed nails, probably related to his profession. Chun Ming glanced at the smart, white fingers in front of him and finally breathed a sigh of relief after confirming there were no issues. He reached out to test the temperature of the pot again. He quickly spoke up to stop him. Luckily, it wasn't too hot, so it probably wouldn't hurt anyone. The two started adding the meat to the pot. Chun Ming lowered his head and smacked the meat, holding it with his chopsticks and placing it in his bowl. He looked up, quickly pulling the chopsticks back. The chopsticks were clean. I didn't use them, he whispered, his expression both nervous and scared. If you're hungry, eat quickly. I have hands, Chun Ming said, and he softly agreed. Chun Ming quickly stopped eating, mainly because of today's ordeal, which really left him with little appetite and a bit unsettled. He got up, and Yen Yu quickly stopped, quietly asking, Where are you going? The bathroom. Saying that, Chun Ming walked out of his seat and headed toward the restroom. Yen Yu's gaze was fixed on him. Seeing he hadn't left the store, she quietly breathed a sigh of relief. He still didn't move quickly, his eyes still tight, staring in the direction of the bathroom, afraid of missing again. Chun Ming had just left when a boy walked over, wearing a faint smile. Miss, are you here for a blind date? This girl is here for a blind date. The guy sitting behind her is stuck in the room. He leaned in close to the man with gold-rimmed glasses and whispered. The distance wasn't close, but he still heard what Yen Yu had just said. The man he was dating was only about 22 or 23, and his clothes together didn't even cost over 300 yuan. He was there for a blind date, but who else could it be? You just go up and ask for your contact info. With your conditions, you'll definitely succeed. The man with gold-rimmed glasses followed his companion's gaze and happened to meet Yen Yu's profile. Her fair, delicate oval face and well-combed brows made her look clear and cold with her European-style double eyelids. Her lips were full but without a hint of a smile. Her 5 features were clean and striking, and her well-groomed look made her stand out in a crowd. His companion was still sneaking aside. "You're way better than that kid. Don't miss out, hurry up. Beauty is rare, and her temperament is so just right. If you miss out, you'll definitely regret it." The man with glasses took a deep breath and straightened his clothes. She got up and walked over to Yenyu. She deliberately forced a gentle smile and stopped in front of her desk, pretending to be calm. "Miss, are you here for a blind date?" Yenyu had been staring at the bathroom exit, silently waiting for Chun Ming to come out. Suddenly spoken to, her brows furrowed slightly. She never liked dealing with strangers, especially someone who suddenly approached her for no reason. All she felt was annoyance, her tone so cold it was devoid of warmth. "What's wrong?" As soon as she finished speaking, her gaze immediately fell back and she walked away, not paying any extra attention to the person in front of her. The blue gold-rimmed glasses didn't discourage her at all. Instead, she felt that this aloofness was more conquering. She showed an even gentler smile. "I was also forced by the elders at home to come to the blind date." Annoyed. "I bet you're feeling the same way." Yenyu felt utterly baffled. What did her annoyance have to do with this person? Her face was expressionless. She didn't even turn her head, her voice cold and stiff. "Don't bother me, is that okay?" The guy's face stiffened slightly, but he quickly put on a smile. Blind dates are all about looking at each other to distinguish good from bad. Some young guys may look honest, but they're actually the best at deceiving people. A few days ago, my friend was struck by a male college student. "Having cheated over 200,000, all you have is a mouth, nothing else. You better keep your eyes open." Yenyu finally looked him in the eye. The man before her looked refined but was slandering others for no reason, instantly filling him with disgust. He had been patient and polite the previous 2 times, but the other party was pushing his luck. Now even the last bit of patience was worn down. His brows and eyes instantly turned icy cold, with no trace of courtesy. His tone carried icy disgust. "You're really annoying. Can you stay away from me?" Her blunt words made the man with gold-rimmed glasses turn pale and flush. He had thought of many words, but now he couldn't say a word. Chun Ming happened to walk out of the bathroom and immediately spotted Yenyu at his desk. A stranger stood there, and the atmosphere between them was tense. Gritting his teeth, he forced out a sentence. "What are you pretending?" Chun Ming was stunned for a moment. He hadn't done anything, so how could he be pretending? He turned to Yenyu and asked softly, "You know him?" Yenyu gently shook her head, her fingertips clenched slightly, her gaze toward the stranger growing even colder. Chun Ming instantly understood. He was just trying to strike up a conversation and was just angry out of embarrassment. His tone was calm, but every word was clear. "Bro, if you have nothing to do, just leave. Disturbing someone while eating is really rude. Trying to strike up a conversation is fine, but it depends on whether the other person is willing." He clearly felt disgusted and still forced himself to come closer, only asking for humiliation. Every sentence hit a chord. The man with gold-rimmed glasses looked a bit ugly, sizing up Chun Ming's ordinary outfit from head to toe, a disdainful smile curling at the corner of his mouth. What's there to pretend? Chan Ming was amused by this man's bizarre behavior and was about to speak when Yenyu, beside him, was completely enraged. He suddenly grabbed the glass of water and poured the entire glass hard onto the face of the man with gold-rimmed glasses. His chest heaved violently, his face tinged with anger. His voice was icy cold. Try saying one more word to him. The man with gold-rimmed glasses was soaked through, trembling with anger, his facial muscles twitching, his anger almost bursting out. Chun Ming was in a panic and was about to speak up to smooth things over. His companion hurried over, pulling and dragging him away. They were in the wrong, and if it really escalated, the ones who would be embarrassed would be themselves. It was a little farce, and it ended there. Chun Ming sat back in his seat and glanced at Yenyu. He hadn't expected that Yenyu, who usually seemed quiet, could have such a hot-tempered side. Don't be so impulsive in the future. Just talk things out calmly. Chun Ming's voice remained calm. Yenyu lowered her lashes, her fingertips gently teasing the brim of her cup. His voice was soft and gentle, with a hint of obedient apology, no longer cold or hard. But hearing him say, "You and I," felt uncomfortable made Chun Ming pause for a moment. This obvious mutual exchange left him feeling a mix of emotions, but he quickly came back to his senses. Her voice fluctuated a little. "No matter what, don't be so impulsive. You're an adult now. Whether you listen or not is up to you. I've always listened to you." Yenyu quickly replied, her voice weak. He just sat quietly like that, eyes lowered. She looked a bit more obedient, just like the cold giant Shenli from earlier, looking forward to the two of them. Chan Ming was stunned again, not knowing how to respond. After a long silence, he finally spoke. "Have you eaten?" "Eat? Then I'll go. That's it, he replied softly, obediently got up, and followed behind Chen Ming. The two of them walked out of the restaurant one after the other, standing side by the roadside. The evening breeze blew gently, and for a moment, no one spoke. He secretly glanced up at Chen Ming. After hesitating for a long while, he finally spoke quietly. Junior? Where are you going? Go home. Chen Ming wasn't in a good mood. The string of events today had left his mind in turmoil. He just wanted to be alone. Yen Yu bit her lower lip. He spoke softer, cautiously probing. Still early. Want to walk together? Not interested. Chen Ming refused decisively, his tone still cold, leaving no room for negotiation. He was now full of irritation. She had no mood to wander around, just wanted to go home and rest early. Just then, a taxi pulled up. Chen Ming waved to stop her, opened the door, and got in. She didn't look back the whole time, not even saying goodbye. Yen Yu's hands hung weakly in midair. His eyelashes trembled gently, and a layer of tears slowly gathered under his eyes. He bit his lip, his eyes instantly turning red. At 8 in the evening, Yen Yu returned to his own place. What teammate? My arena match? He had just opened the door. Then he heard his roommate Sang Ming gritting his teeth and cursing loudly. Apparently, he had been tricked by a teammate while playing a game again. He was gripping his twin ponytails tightly, his sweet little face twisted with a twisted expression, staring at the phone screen with utter despair. Seeing Yen Yu come back, he felt as if he'd found a savior, looking at her with longing eyes and acting cute. Help me play a game of competition. Yen Yu rarely played games. In the past, on weekends, he'd play with his junior to relax a bit. Later, when she played again, it was all just to stake the junior. But the junior's gray avatar never popped up again. Maybe another day. I'm not in the mood. Yen Yu's voice was so faint it felt weak as she slumped in the corner of the sofa, eyes lowered in a daze, her fingertips unconsciously brushing the corner of her clothes. His mind was filled with thoughts of his junior after dinner, not even turning his head. His chest felt heavy, and he couldn't muster any energy. Sang Ming glanced at his usually cold and distant roommate, who was now lost in thought. His fingertips paused, and a bit of spiritual energy flickered. He turned his head to look at Sang Ming. His dark eyes were soaked with fragments of light, quiet yet straightforward with anticipation. I'll tell you if you advance. Sang Ming handed over his phone, leaned back on the sofa, propped his head with one hand, and stared at Yen Yu with a bright smile. Yen Yu took the phone and glanced at Sang Ming's interface, just 2 stars short of advancing. 20 minutes later, she successfully advanced. Why do you always have such godlike teammates? Sang Ming gritted his teeth and handed Yen Yu back the phone. His gaze was fixed firmly on Sang Ming. The urgency in his eyes was faintly hidden, but it was obvious. I know you're anxious, but don't rush yet. Sang Ming rolled his eyes. My sister was in the same year as him, quite a coincidence. We went to the same university as well. Right here at the business school, Sang Ming opened his chat history with his sister, pulled out a photo, and handed it to him. This was Chun Ming, a senior in photography from the 19th class of the business school. A senior this year. Sang Ming tapped the screen and paused. My sister said he's quite famous at school, has won 2 prestigious photography awards, is also the student council president, has great connections, a wide circle, is called by everyone on campus, is the business school's network king, has a likable personality, and is sunny and warm-hearted. Outstanding looks with ridiculously good luck with girls, and even got called a business model from Sang Ming, his eyes full of gossip. Why are you asking about him? You 2 years apart in high school, and you're a freshman and he's only a sophomore. Logically, there's no connection. Honestly, what relationship? It's nothing. Yen Yu opened her gaze, her ears flushing slightly. Usually known for being aloof, it was rare to show a hint of guilty awkwardness. If she didn't say anything, she would let it go. Sang Ming leaned back on the sofa, staring at the ceiling. All right then, I won't say anything about what happens next. Yen Yu's lips were slightly light, and after a moment's standoff, she finally let go and spoke even softer. I said. Sang Ming immediately sat up straight, his eyes full of curiosity. Yen Yu looked down. My fingertips slowly slipped in, immediately showing protein. My voice was soft and hoarse. We met in high school. He had just started his first year and I was my senior year. I rode my bike after school with him. He was there all year. He had a stomachache, but the only one who came slowly came up, his tone so calm it was almost flat. Only a slight tremor was hidden at the end. Later, after I went to university in Beijing for 3 years, we video-linked every day without stopping. The year he repeated the year, he was determined to get into Beijing to be in the same city as me, but he fought too hard. She fainted during the English exam. The diagnosis was neurasthenia. The doctor said she needed to rest and not stay up late to distract herself. Yen Yu's throat tightened slightly, her fingertips squeezed even tighter. Her eyes remained calm, though the glow had dimmed a little. Back then, he was too stubborn, no one would listen to his advice. The more he pushed himself, the worse his condition became. The teasing on Sang Lin's face stopped completely, and he just listened quietly, not interrupting anymore. Later, his mom added me, talked with me for a long time and asked if I could do it. First, delete all his contact information. After he finishes filling out his preferences, I'll add him back. Yen Yu gently closed his eyes. When he opened them, there was only a faint trace of amnesia, and his voice was as soft as a sigh. I did as told, but when I wanted to add him back, all his contact information couldn't be found, nor could he add it. He switched to every way he could reach me, in a casual sentence, without any lingering sentiment. Yet the gloom wrapped around him so much it was hard to breathe, between his cold brows and eyes. There was only one layer of frozen death that wouldn't melt. Yen Yu still hadn't said one thing. The junior's mother told him not to tell him. The junior was his mom's idea. At that time, their relationship was quite tense. Sang Ming's heart softened and he sighed softly. So there was such a thing as before. Yen Yu didn't respond, her fingertips still tense. Sang Ming hesitated for a moment, his tone slowing. What came next, maybe you don't like hearing it, was his love story. Yen Yu's eyelashes trembled slightly, and his voice was calm and unruffled. You see, he's so popular with girls and has plenty of scandals. My sister knows about 6 or 7 of them. Sang Ming opened a few screenshots of his moments and handed them over. He was just chasing jokes about their school. The first photo was a real photo of a designer handbag. The second photo shows a girl smiling at the camera, with Chun Ming standing behind her. His eyes are lowered, his expression calm, showing no sign of intimacy, even showing a hint of combing. His social media post is captioned, "Thank you for giving me the bag. I really like it. Wow, this bag is over 40,000 yuan, that's really generous." Sang Ming's a she, full of envy. "That's all for now. I'll have my sister keep inquiring. If there's any news, I'll tell you." Yen Yu stared at the screenshot for a few seconds. The girl's eyes were sweet and bright, standing next to Chun Ming, looking at the sticky, dull look at the light and the sticky mood. Yen Yu slowly opened his fingertips. His expression softened a little, and he softly said, "Okay, sorry to trouble you." After a pause, he slowly stood up. She straightened her back, maintaining her usual cool demeanor. "I'm heading back to my room first." Sang Ming nodded. After Yen Yu returned to her room, she gently spread out on the bed, her gaze fixed on the screenshot Sang Ming sent, and stared at it for a long time. He stared at the ceiling, surrounded by a quiet loneliness. His heart throbbed in waves. Ding dong, the phone notification sounded. His eyes lit up slightly, and almost immediately picked up his phone. After seeing who it was, the light in his eyes instantly dimmed and fell silent. It wasn't a junior through a friend, but a message from Sang Ming. So far, neither of them had added any green bubbles. Yen Yu stared at his phone, slightly dazed, feeling a bit sad. He sniffled, his voice was tinged with tears. If he didn't want to add it, he would just refuse. Agreed, but then rejected. What does that mean? He opened Sang Ming's photo again. The photo he just sent was of the junior and Li Feifei together. He stared at Li Feifei over and over. For some reason, I compared myself to Li Feifei. Li Feifei is sweet, but he's more indifferent. Li Feifei is petite, about 160 centimeters. He's bigger and straighter. Yen Yu muttered angrily, "I'm taller than him, my figure is better than his, my chest is bigger than his, my face is prettier than his, but guys probably all like Li Feifei. This petite and sweet type, right?" Yen Yu held her head with both hands, her hair a mess grabbed. Is he really gonna go crazy? Yen Yu's eyes were lifeless. She collapsed onto the bed with a smack, recalling the day she deleted him. After losing contact, Yen Yu realized she had long since gotten used to the junior. In the days without him, she always missed him. So this is what liking is. He didn't know when he started liking the junior. At least at this moment, he understood that he liked him really very much. After writing for so many years, he only liked him. "Junior, you must hate me a lot, you must still be blaming me for killing you back then." Chun Ming's eyes were vacant as he stared at the ceiling. Yen Yu suddenly disappeared and now reappeared, catching him off guard. Felt like a dream. Honestly, the day Yen Yu deleted him, he was truly heartbroken, lost for a while. Although he was resentful, he didn't blame him. Yen Yu was so outstanding, scored 709 on the college entrance exam, went to the Beijing-Dubé Agreement Clinical Clinic, and spent 8 years as a domestic medical student. He loved learning new things. 4 years ago, when he was a senior in college, he had already taught himself Japanese, Korean, voice acting, calligraphy, and many other skills. Beauty combined with any one of his strengths would be a finishing blow. He had countless strengths. The second reason was that, although they had a good relationship at the time, but they never dated, never even said they liked him. At that time, Chun-Ming didn't even know what liking was. Even after losing contact, Chun-Ming kept missing him. Only then did Chun-Ming understand this was liking. He liked Yen-Yu. From before until now, he had always liked him. Really, really liked him and only liked him, Yen-Yu. He even wondered if the ending would have been different if he had said that sentence earlier. Yen-Yu, I like you. Chun-Ming stared at his phone. The page showed that one that hadn't received Yen-Yu's friend message yet. He clicked to accept. Yen-Yu's profile picture was a photo of his own back. That year, the two of them were by Westlake under the night sky. Chun-Ming took a photo of him. The nickname was just one character, and his moments were completely blank. Clean and clean. Yen-Yu lay on the bed, staring blankly at the ceiling. Ding-dong, a message came from his phone. He instantly sat up and quickly picked up his phone to check. It was a news push. If you don't add it, then so be it. Why agree to add it? What does it mean to add it but not pass? He pouted, tossed his phone aside, and lay back down, staring boredly at the ceiling. Ding-dong. He suddenly sat up again and quickly picked up the phone he'd just thrown away. A smile instantly appeared on his expressionless face. The junior looked through his friend. Yen-Yu's pale fingers trembled slightly, and even his breathing grew a little rapid. He glanced at the junior's profile picture. It was a particularly beautiful ink-wash calico cat. The nickname was just one character. His moments were completely blank, completely clean, showing only 3 days of exposure. He took several deep breaths, staring at the chat window, still not deciding what to send him. After a long while, he finally mustered up his courage. Send a message. Junior, I bought some medicine. I'll make you some porridge tomorrow morning and bring it to you. It's gentle for nourishing the stomach and protecting the liver. After sending it, he nervously stared at the chat window, his heart beating a little faster than usual. He was really looking forward to it, looking forward to his reply, hoping he agreed. Chun Mingjung was petting the kitten. His phone rang. He picked it up and checked. Junior, I bought some medicine. I'll make you some porridge tomorrow morning and bring it over to you. It's gentle for nourishing your stomach and protecting the liver. Chun Ming frowned slightly and thought for a moment. He typed back, no need. I'll go to the hospital myself. Seeing Yen-Yu hear the message, he hurriedly sat up. His hair was a mess from his grip. He breathed a sigh of relief. No matter what, the junior finally agreed to reply to his message. He thought for a moment and replied, if I were matched, it would all be for your condition. Even if you go to the hospital, it's still the same. Other doctors really don't treat me as well as I do. I've seen countless cases. Your condition needs to be gradually recovered. I'm very professional. Chun Ming remembers that Yen-Yu specializes in cardiology. Stomach problems shouldn't be under his control. Forget it, better to go see him yourself. The doctor is pretty busy and has no time to prepare medicine. Besides, Yen-Yu doesn't owe him anything, and his mind is really in turmoil right now. For some reason, Yen-Yu appeared before him again, leaving him momentarily at a loss for what to do. It's true that he can't blame him, but I have complaints in my heart. No need. I'll get the medicine myself tomorrow and brew it myself. I'm very tired. I'll sleep first. You can't even turn on the fire, and you're still making it yourself. Yen-Yu muttered quietly. Normally, she said, I'll sleep first, meant to end the topic, so Yen-Yu didn't know how to reply to his message. But he had another question he really wanted to ask. He wanted the answer, but was afraid of getting it. It wasn't what he wanted to hear. Yen-Yu's clever mind was working wildly. He seemed to hear a ding. Junior, I heard you have a lot of girlfriends in college, and you've dated several at once. Don't get too indulgent. Take care of your health. After a few episodes, where did you hear that? Which bastard said I've never dated a single one? Where did this girlfriend come from? The other party retracted a message. What does it have to do with you? Stop messaging me. The junior retracted quickly, but he still saw everything. Yen-Yu smiled happily. The junior doesn't have a girlfriend. The junior has never dated even once. He suddenly sat up, clenched his fists, his gaze resolute. Yen-Yu didn't let her get discouraged, so she got the junior in his hands. Hang in there. Then she sent him another message. Good night, Junior. Yen-Yu collapsed onto the bed, her long legs kicking wildly. The former ice goddess now smiled like a fool. Junior, I bet you're furious right now. Chun Ming looked at the message, punched the bed, and didn't know which rumor was spreading. The chat box froze on. Yen-Yu sent the last sentence. Good night, Junior. Chun Ming didn't reply again. It was 11 a.m. Last night, he didn't know when he fell asleep. Maybe 4, 5, or 6 o'clock stayed. Anyway, he was thinking about what happened with Yen-Yu before. Thinking about it, he fell asleep. Chun Ming made the first thing everyone does upon waking. He picked up his phone to check, and the look startled him. Yen-Yu sent him many messages. Junior, are you awake? I'll bring you porridge. It's downstairs from your house, and how does he know his home address? Chun Ming's hand trembled a little. He scratched his head and sent Yen Yu a message. Sorry, just woke up. Yen Yu replied almost instantly. It's okay. I'm downstairs from your place. Can you come down and get it? Looking at this message, Chun Ming's phone slipped from his fingertips onto the bed. It felt as if his heart had been pricked by a needle. He waited for himself for more than 3 hours. From 8 a.m. until now at 11 a.m. Chun Ming was running out the door in his pajamas. As soon as he stepped out, he shrank back. The weather wasn't great today. It was actually a bit cold. He got out of the elevator and ran out of the hall, looked around, and finally saw Yen Yu. It was drizzling outside, making it a bit chilly. He was wearing a thin, loose white dress and holding a thermal lunchbox in his arms. His expression was gentle and cold. Chun Ming approached and saw that his hair and long eyelashes were covered with tiny droplets of water. His face and lips were pale and cold, and he shrank back slightly. Yen Yu looked at him nervously. His expression was both a bit scared and pitiful. Didn't I tell you not to see him off? Chun Ming's voice inexplicably rose a little, full of reproach. Yen Yu was startled by that very loud remark. Her eyes lowered, and she didn't dare say a word. The fingers holding the insulated lunchbox turned white from the force. The lunchbox about to be handed over stopped at these words, not daring to move at all. His body stiffened, shoulders hunched slightly, and his head slightly lowered. He didn't even dare to breathe. I mean, you don't have to be like this. You don't owe me anything. What you're doing makes me feel really bad. Chun Ming's voice softened, feeling helpless. No, it's fine. I want to give you a ride. He lowered his head. His voice was very soft, his long eyelashes dripping with water droplets trembling slightly. Chun Ming sighed. I want to ask, how did you find out my home address? Yen Yu whispered. Yesterday when you left, I took a taxi to follow you. It was clear that Chun Ming was never afraid of others treating him badly. He was afraid of others treating him well. Yen Yu like this really made him feel guilty, his heart heavy and aching. Chun Ming looked at the fine droplets of water on his hair, but he was curled up from the cold, a bit annoyed. With this cold, shouldn't you wear a little more? When I came, it wasn't cold, and there was still the sun. His voice was still soft and weak. He was about to say something when Yen Yu handed over the insulated lunchbox first. Here, you can eat it at noon. He whispered, still lowering his eyes, not daring to look up at him. Chun Ming stared at his cold, pale knuckles and paused for a moment, then reached out to take it. He took a deep breath. Miss Yen, as I always said, you never owe me anything, so you don't have to do this. In July, I went to Iceland. There are many filming plans in the second half of the year, and I might not be back for a long time. Yen Yu's heart inexplicably ached. A strange name, a cold tone. He probably wouldn't want anything to do with me anymore. Then I'll take you until the day you leave. After more than 2 months, he's almost healed. Is that okay? His voice already carried a faint sob. I know you really dislike me right now. Once you're cured, if you still dislike me, I'll leave by myself and won't bother you anymore. Is that okay? Chun Ming's heart inexplicably trembled, his mood silent and broken. I still have a thesis to write. I'm heading back first. Remember to eat. I'll bring you more tomorrow. He whispered again, but tomorrow is Monday, I have to work, so I'll only deliver it to you at 7. Wait for me a moment, I'll go upstairs and get you a jacket. It's a bit cold. Tell me. I can change it. His voice was very soft, but like a heavy hammer. It struck Chun Ming's heart, leaving him speechless for a long time. He only heard words say, he has never been in a relationship nor liked anyone else. Chun Ming forgot to speak. He whispered, I'll head out now. Chun Ming watched as he turned around. After a few steps, he turned back. This time, his eyes finally met his gaze. Will you come down tomorrow? He asked softly, his eyes carrying a hint of presence. His fingers nervously pinched each other in front of him. He had work tomorrow and couldn't do it like today, still blowing warm breath. He nodded. All right, I'll come down tomorrow. Then, Chun Ming saw the girl a few steps away finally showing a smile on her somewhat pale face. When you don't smile, you're clear. When you don't smile, keep your distance. When you smile, it's clear. Enchanting all beings, that smile struck Chun Ming hard. He stood where he was, and only after seeing the girl who brought him porridge disappear from the oath did he turn and walk back. What lingered in his mind was that cold, pale face from earlier. With Wei Wei's pitiful and delicate look, Chun Ming felt like there was a thorn in his heart. It was so cold outside, What merit did he have to wait for him for 3 or 4 hours? What right did he have? Chun Ming didn't know how he made it home, nor did he know what was at the dining table. The porridge was still steaming hot. When was it taken out? It wasn't until Yen Yu messaged him that he snapped out of it. Junior, have you eaten? Chun Ming took a photo of the porridge and sent it over. He'd already eaten half of it with a faint herbal scent. Not exactly delicious, but not bad either. I'm eating too. Chun Ming opened the picture. It was a serving of hot and sour noodles. He thought for a moment and decided to keep going. If you ever encounter this kind of situation, remember to call me. Don't worry so much. I'm afraid you'll scold me. To be honest, we've known each other for so long. When has he ever scolded him? Only yesterday, and today did his tone get a bit cold. If I don't reply to messages in the future, just call me. Don't wait like a fool. Alright, then you can't scold me. My heart will hurt. No, when have I ever scolded you? Yen Yu looked at the message and smiled softly. The junior really hadn't scolded him, nor had he ever scolded him. Always so good. He used to be really gentle and had a good temper. I hardly ever saw him get angry. He always looked calm and unruffled. But you look so fierce, your tone is cold. When you act like this, I feel really bad. His heart felt as if pricked by needles. There was a benefit to sending messages. If you didn't dare say them face to face, you could type them out. Yen Yu shared his truest feelings. Chun Ming looked at the message, a bit confused. He was just blaming him. I clearly told him not to take him to the coast. But he waited so long when he arrived. The weather was bad. And seeing Yen Yu like this, he felt sorry for him. There's nothing he can't admit, just that he feels sorry. Talking tough won't help. Your heart will tell you the answer. Chun Ming stared at the message, lost in thought. Yen Yu felt uncomfortable, and so was he. They shouldn't have acted like this. Let him go with the past. Don't bring it up again. Besides, bullying a girl is no real skill. Maybe he should just ignore her, block and delete it. Otherwise, just talk it out properly and don't make them sad. Chun Ming thought to himself, I won't be harsh with you anymore. I'll be more careful from now on. You should write your thesis properly. Yen Yu looked at this message and smiled softly. Then I'll write my thesis. Bye-bye. Chun Ming didn't reply again. He finished his last bit of a week. Just as he sat down, his phone rang. Chun Ming glanced at it. It was his mom calling. No need to think twice, it must be another round of blind dates. He answered the call. She asked gently, Hey mom, what's wrong? Son, how was yesterday's blind date? It was pretty good. Was it really good or just fake? Don't fool your real mom. If it doesn't work, I'll find another one for you. The girl is doing well, so please don't introduce me to her. He had just ended the call vaguely. He still had some political matters to attend to. His mother said he should send a photo to him, but he didn't have any photo of Yen Yu at all. If he didn't send it, would his mother not believe him and then arrange a blind date for him? Just thinking about it is troublesome. But it's not that I'm afraid. The main thing is that Chun Ming is filial and willing to communicate with his mother. If we can resolve things properly, there's no need to argue. For Chun Ming, who is action-oriented, thinking about his information at this point, he had already sent it to Yen Yu. Are you there? Yen Yu was at her computer desk, looking up literature. Her phone rang. He picked it up and saw that it was his face, already covered with a smile. Just one message from him was enough to make him happy. I'm here. Do you have a selfie? Can you send me one? Yen Yu saw the junior's message. He didn't think much of it. Although he didn't know what he was going to do, it should be useful. He raised his phone, a faint smile appearing on his cool face. He found an angle, took a photo, and sent it over. Chun Ming opened it and glanced at it. Then his pupils suddenly widened. In the photo, Yen Yu was sitting at his computer desk, leaning forward slightly, clearly looking for light. He held up his phone and snapped a photo of his face. His fair and upturned face wore a faint smile, and his cool face now looked a bit gentler because of that smile. The key point was that he held it at a slightly higher angle. He leaned forward a little further. Yen Yu was initially very happy. He hadn't been happy for long before he noticed something was wrong. His collar was a bit low. A splash of red instantly appeared on his cheek. Then he looked at his ear and saw a burning burn on his face. He quickly pulled it back. Luckily, thank goodness, he pulled it back. Maybe the junior didn't see it. Yen Yu clutched his head in pain, feeling so embarrassed. Chun Ming smiled slightly when Yen Yu withdrew the message. What did he withdraw? Didn't see it. Seeing this message, Yen Yu finally breathed a sigh of relief. Good thing not seen, that was close. No, nothing, not posting. I didn't take a selfie. Looks good. Still so fair-skinned. He chuckled softly at the camera, as if he were smiling at himself, his smile quite gentle. Chun Ming's gaze unintentionally dropped. He pressed his lips together, unable to suppress the corners of his mouth. Chun Ming thought looking at someone's photos like this seem a bit immoral, but then again, although it's immoral, he also endured the torment of his conscience. Since he endured the torment of his conscience, theoretically, he should be allowed to reap the fruit of immorality. Otherwise, why torment his conscience? Makes sense. Take another look, his conscience was just condemned again, so he reaped the fruit again. Makes sense, right? Very reasonable. Another day of convincing himself. The next moment, Yenue sent a message. He clicked to check it out. Junior, you need to eat on time to slowly recover. Otherwise, no matter how much medicine you take, it won't help. Chun Ming thought Yenue was right, so he quickly ordered takeout in 20 minutes. The delivery arrived, and he quickly took another photo of himself eating, sending it to Yenue. Alright, eat slowly, don't eat too fast, and don't eat too full or it's bad for your stomach. I'm eating too. Is yours tasty? Mine is pretty good. The portion is a bit small. Next time, I won't order from their place. It's better to reunite. Chun Ming was woken up by the alarm. He played until 10 o'clock last night, but unexpectedly, the first alarm woke him up. Chun Ming glanced at the green bubble. You hadn't messaged him. He's always punctual. The weather is great today, not cold, and Chun Ming was too lazy to wash up. Exhausted, he put on his pajamas and headed downstairs, planning to come back and sleep again. Chun Ming stepped out of the elevator and walked out of the lobby, seeing Yenue already waiting at the door. At that moment, he was holding a lunchbox in his arms, staring eagerly at the elevator exit. The moment he saw the young man come out, a smile instantly appeared on his cold face, looking a bit excited. Chun Ming approached. Why didn't you call me when you arrived? It wasn't time yet, only 7 o'clock. Yesterday they said 7:30. His tone was basically normal today, his voice very pleasant. He's the type who wants to understand, and his tone sounds quite gentle. Call me when I arrive. He softly agreed and handed over the lunchbox. Here, Chun Ming took it. He saw 2 big plastic bags under his feet, clearly snacks inside. He whispered, I bought it at the supermarket last night. I've checked the ingredient list. It's suitable for you. Don't eat too much when eating, otherwise your stomach will be under a heavy burden. Eat small, frequent meals. If you're hungry, just have some snacks. Chun Ming listened to his advice and was momentarily distracted. What's wrong? He asked quietly. Chun Ming snapped back to reality. It's nothing. Chun Ming smiled. He said again, Thank you. He smiled too. No need. His smile was like the morning sun at birth. In that instant, it landed on Chun Ming's heart. How did you get here? Chun Ming asked, and Yenue stopped not far ahead. The little e-scooter arrived. He glanced at the time and softly said, Then I'm off to work. Chun Ming took out a candy and opened his palm. Do you want it? He looked up, his beautiful big eyes fluttering as he looked at him. Then he nodded frantically. One piece of candy could make him this happy. Ride slower, okay, white. He waved Baishi's hand, then turned and walked away. After a few steps, he looked back at him again. He chuckled softly again, walked to the roadside parking spot, and when he saw him, he smiled again. Chun Ming smiled and waved at him, making his smile even brighter. He watched him put on a pink helmet and ride off on his little electric scooter. Chun Ming picked up his things and got into the elevator. Chun Ming muttered quietly, New national standard? Can you do the same as before? New national standard, same as before. Yenue rode her little electric scooter onto the road, wearing a faint smile and muttering to herself. The weather was great today, and he was in a good mood. Suddenly, he remembered something, stopped, pried open the candy in his hand, and put it in his mouth. The sweetness in his mouth was just right. He could tell it was from him, and his heart felt even sweeter. Yenue curved her eyes and looked at the little scooter. The color was the same, the model was the same, exactly like that year. That year, Yenue was a senior in high school, just starting school. That night, during self-study, she walked toward the place where the scooter was parked. Because she had done a few extra questions, she left a bit late. There were hardly any people left at school. She went to the parking shed and pushed out her little electric scooter, where she saw a boy squatting in front of a scooter, a bit taller than her. She was very pretty, but at this moment her eyebrows were knitted together, making her look rather pitiful. Her bike was probably broken. Yenue watched as she got up and walked outside. She rode closer to her, her voice soft and cold. Where do you live? If it's on the way, I'll give you a ride. The young man glanced back at her, then at her, then at her. What a beautiful girl, but a bit cold. She thought to herself, safe neighborhood. The young man was calm and on the way. 15 yuan. If possible, get on the bus. If not, Forget it. The young man was stunned for a moment. Taxi can get up to 15 yuan and riding a bike closer. Up to 10 yuan. If possible, you can give me a ride. Yen Yu thought for a moment. All right. She reached into her pocket and happened to pull out a 10 yuan bill. She handed it to her. Yen Yu stopped and reached out to take the 10 yuan from the young man. Just as the boy was about to get in the car, she softly said, "Go back and get the helmet. I'll wait for you here. What if you run off when I go back?" The young man said calmly, "Give me the money, then wait for me here." As he spoke, she had already snatched back the 10 yuan she had just given her. Soon, she returned wearing her helmet. She handed over the 10 yuan in her hand again, got in the car, and Yen Yu rode her little electric scooter, carrying the boy as she slowly drove out of the school. It was already late at night. There were hardly any pedestrians on the road, and the vehicle was moving slowly. Occasionally, a few classmates were left alone. Running faster than this little electric scooter is faster. Can you drive faster? It's too slow. The boy said. The new national standard is already the fastest. Yen Yu drove her to her destination, then rode the scooter home. She opened a somewhat worn door. She said, "I'm back." But no one responded. She walked into the inner room. On the bed lay a gaunt man, skin and bones, eyes sunken and hollow. The man lying on the bed was her father. The doctor said he was beyond saving. If things were better, she could live for half a year. If not, she could live for up to 3 months. She had already lost mobility, her speech functions were disorganized, and besides her eyeballs, she could still move. She had heated nearly half a bowl of porridge, but for less than 2/3, her father stopped eating. She glanced at the rice jar. It was empty. The bottle for oil was empty, and the box for holding the money was left with only 3 coins. Yen Yu squatted tiredly in the corner, clutching the 10 yuan the boy had given her, her shoulders trembling slightly. Tears streamed down uncontrollably.